We're here in Bangkok and Durham to bring together researchers and policymakers from all over the world who are thinking about protecting workers in the global economy. It's crucial to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals of sustainable and protective economies and societies, that labour regulation is effective, so that people can access their labour rights. And our goal is to make sure that that's possible.
Capital is mobile, capital moves from country to country, and workers do, but labour law stays in one place. So labour law just doesn't have the capacity to deal with so many of the problems that are occurring at the moment in the area of labour exploitation.
There is a gap between legislation and the implementation. If you have a central legislation in a country like India, where the labour issues are in the concurrent list, following a central legislation, there is a need to have a state legislation and then implementation.
Most home care work is very lowly paid. There's a real problem with getting enough hours of work and having predictable hours of work.
Gender-based violence is an issue within the sector which has arisen particularly post-privatisation and in relation to poor labour standards in the sector.
Over 64% of women have experienced gendered violence at work. It's generally, if it is dealt with, it's dealt with on an individual basis.
Unacceptable forms of work is something that must be on the research agenda of academics across the world, but especially in the global south or developing countries where I'm from. Work is a part of our everyday life. You see it every day. It's precarious. It should be focused on from a multidisciplinary point of view. It's a multifaceted problem.
So one of the main problems is referred to the excessive overtime. And then the other area on the most common challenges is on the occupational safety and health.
In Bolivia, the construction sector has traditionally been a male-dominated sector, but a growing number of women and indigenous women are trying to get into that sector. Now the problem is that they are indigenous women, unwanted and unwelcome by men who are working in the sector.
The Brazilian case could inspire regulation in the UK in order to foster more liability in supply chains.
And right now we have labour law frameworks, but we're not sure that they're working effectively. What we want to do and what we have done is brought together policy actors and researchers from across the world to think about how we can improve labour rights.